it's really incredible. It's tough to get those top 4 seeds. You have to be consistent. Um, you have to play a good schedule, um, and we've done that. So it's when you're playing in November and December, sometimes you don't maybe give those games enough credit as to what they mean when March rolls around. But obviously, some of those wins that we were able to, when you consider the win over Nebraska and Tulsa and Arizona State, teams that are in the NCAA tournament, those loom pretty large on Selection Sunday.
Set it up there to the crowd. Louisiana's a tough team. You got this going in, but you may have a tougher matchup going into the second round, bigger story. How do you stay focused on just doing one game at a time?
We won't talk 1 second about Baylor or Nebraska until Saturday or Friday night, if we're fortunate enough to win against Louisiana. Any team that makes the NCAA tournament, you either make the NCAA tournament because you played really well in your conference tournament and you're entering with a great bounce in your step, or you've had a great year to be selected. And I don't care what league you play in, you have to have a good team to get there. And Louisiana is an example of a very good team. Georgia State had a heck of a year, and Louisiana beat them today in the conference final. So, we'll study them. But anybody that follows college basketball and has been in college basketball understands how good a coach Bob Marlin is. He was great at Sam Houston State, and in 4 years he's got Louisiana in the NCAA tournament. So, we will be playing a very prepared basketball team. That'll try to take away some of the things we like to do, and that'll, obviously try to expose us in areas that we may have weakness. So, it's a very well-coached team, and we'll have to be ready Friday.
Do you know much about them?
Not really. I haven't seen him at all. But having played him 4 years ago, and like I said, I'm familiar with Coach Marlin and his track record of success, and that speaks for itself.
Yeah, it was really cool, and to have that high of a seed for this program, and obviously a reflection of what we've been able to do this year. And like Coach said, a lot of the wins, especially that we got in non-conference. Obviously, we knew playing in the Big East and how well we performed there would go a long way. But George Washington, St. Joe's, I think those wins carried a lot of weight for us. So to have that high of a seed and get put in the position that we did this year and compared to the last 2 years, I think is a really good accomplishment for our program.
Brent, I know you guys have talked about wanting to get that second weekend as a major goal, this being your final year. Is it an excitement, or what are you feeling like knowing that you're going into what is your last tournament and your goal is right there in front of you?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely excitement, but like I said, I think we put ourselves in a great position with what we did this year, and now it's time to go out and perform and try to make this thing happen. So obviously we have a ton of respect for Lafayette, the season they've had, and we're not going to overlook them. I know they're a really good team, and we're going to have to prepare for them.
Ran up there. I saw you talking with Doug. I think it was VCU that hit up at a 5, and you guys kind of looked over and said that movie was probably a 4. Do you think that's where you were going to be after last night, or what was
It's hard to say. It's hard to say because I remember 2 years ago thinking we were 5-6 and we were 8-9. So, like I said, I think the Big East schedule and everything like that really helped what our resume looked like to the committee. But we saw some of the early 4-5s and kind of thought we were right along that line. So, obviously we're happy with where we were placed, but now there's a lot of work to be done. We're happy to be going anywhere. I don't have any hard feelings towards Spokane at all. Happier to be going to San Antonio, but I think we're happy with the way it played out, obviously. But like I said, there's still a lot of really good teams, obviously in the field and in our bracket. So we're gonna have to be ready to go.
Well, in a few days there'll be somebody you can ask that question and get the right answer. For me to answer would be only speculation, but sometimes, you know, when you get in that bracket and you start seeding, and now this team's a 6 and they can't play this team, and this team's a 10 and they can't play this team, all of a sudden you only have one place to put them. I think I think Oregon has played BYU this year in a non-conference game, and they open up with each other in the first round. And this is the first year, if I'm not mistaken, that they've changed the rules to allow that to happen. So you can imagine the moving parts in trying to put that bracket together. I'm sure it's very difficult. And you look at, I believe Nebraska was 11 seed. Well, Providence was 11 seed, so they weren't going to be there. So now you eliminate that part of it right away, and now you're down to 3 11 seeds. And I don't know the reasons, but like I said, it's if we're going to go and play, and Nebraska's going to play in the NCAA tournament, why not go to the same place? I think it's going to be a great deal of fun. And as Doug mentioned, I've got a lot of great friends, as does Doug, that are Iowa State fans that'll be in San Antonio. Roy Williams is a good friend of mine. Ed Cooley's a good friend of mine. It's going to be a fun environment surrounding San Antonio and the tournament there. I looked at the numbers on the plane and felt like we were going to be one of the last 3s or one of the first 4s, depending on what metrics you believe in, and how much the committee uses the numbers versus a potential eye test or a potential team that got hot in the conference tournament. Michigan State, I think, would be a good example of that. They got healthy. They rolled through the conference tournament. So you don't know. But I really felt like, I think we had 8 wins versus the top 50 RPI, which is the 3rd or 4th most in the country. So not only did we play a good schedule, we won against a good schedule. And I think 22 or 23 of our games were against top 100 opponents. And that has never been the case here before because of the league we were in. So it just, for me, it's been a change of how you have to think about seeding, because you get so much credit for playing in a good conference. And certainly the fact that we were in the Big East this year did wonders for our seeding.
Say it again.
Mess with the priest, man. Don't mess with the priest.
I guess I'd pretty much gotten those comments from everybody now, so not a surprise there. And he got a nice jab in. So, like I said, I'll let him have that. I'm not gonna try to reciprocate.
Yeah, I think it's good, and I told my staff prior to the Big East tournament, because it's a total different mindset than the Valley tournament. When after the Valley tournament, if you qualify for the NCAA, you can I think last year we took maybe Sunday, Monday, Tuesday off, and then got after it again. So the guys really had an opportunity, to get healthy, to get some rest, to get their minds right. And I told my staff, if we're not going to win this thing, I want to win a game or two, but the worst thing would be to get to the championship and lose it, because now you're not rested. There's a potential of taking off on Tuesday after a short prep. So this is really good. Now, it gives us the flexibility. Our guys are off today, but it gives us the flexibility tomorrow if we need to rest a few guys again or go really short and just maybe have more of a mental practice tomorrow. It gives us the ability to do that. And had we been leaving on Wednesday or on Tuesday, we would have had to have a pretty locked in, intense practice in preparation tomorrow. So I think it's a best case scenario for us. It gives us a little bit more time. Just as you know, we've got some older guys on this team, and their bodies don't recover quite as fast as younger guys. I hope he's walking inside of me when we're walking on the river walk, so I can dump him in the river. And it wouldn't be the first time he and I are walking on that river walk together. So we're just going to be, our focus will be a little different than it was last time we were there, probably. But I think it's going to be fun. I think it's going to be really cool. But his hotel is probably not going to be on the Riverwalk. Somebody needs to let him know that as quickly as possible. Yes, yeah.
Anything else for these two?
Coach, how do you keep these guys loose, knowing that this is their last run here? Not too much pressure on this.
We've talked all year because of how this group kind of ended up together with, you know, Ethan's injury and Grant getting the 6th year and Doug's decision to come back to school. You know, a lot of things had to kind of fall into place for this to happen. So because it happened that way, we've talked a bunch about, hey, we got to make sure we enjoy this. And this week needs to be the most enjoyable week of their life. You know, they're preparing to play in their last NCAA tournament, which is the 3rd consecutive NCAA tournament, and there's a very small percentage of college basketball players that get an opportunity to do this once, let alone 3 times in a row. So, you know, we recognize we have to get some work done, but, you know, they're going to wear these Creighton shirts loud and proud all week long and really enjoy this experience because it's supposed to be fun. And as a coaching staff, we'll make sure that they have a good time with it.
Anything else?
Thank you.
You got the, some